200, they were 250. I did the same thing with NATO. I got them to pay up. NATO was busted until I came along. I said, everybody's going to pay. They said, well, if we don't pay, are you still going to protect us? I said, absolutely not. They couldn't believe the answer. And everybody, you never saw more money pour in. The Secretary General Stoltenberg, well, I don't know if he is anymore, but he was my biggest fan. He said, all these presidents came in, they'd make a speech, they'd leave, and that was it. And they all owed money, and they wouldn't pay it. I came in, I made a speech, and I said, you got to pay up. They asked me that question. One of the presidents of a big country stood up, said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay. You got to pay your bills. And the money came flowing in.
Welcome to the American Report. Today, we unravel a critical issue at the heart of global politics and security: the United States' internal divisions over its approach toward Russia under Vladimir Putin. These divisions pose not just a national dilemma, but carry profound implications for international stability, alliances, and the future of democracy itself. At the epicenter of this controversy is former President Donald Trump's polarizing stance on Russia. His criticisms of NATO and reluctance to support Ukraine in its struggle against Russian aggression have sparked a seismic shift in U.S. foreign policy debates. This stance not only affects the geopolitical landscape, but also tests the resilience of post-World War II security frameworks that have maintained peace in Europe for decades. To understand the gravity of this shift, we must look back at the roots of the NATO alliance, formed in the ashes of World War II, designed to counter Soviet expansionism and ensure a lasting peace in Europe. For over 70 years, this alliance has stood as a testament to Western solidarity and democratic values. The current debate over military aid to Ukraine is not just about resources. It's a reflection of a broader ideological struggle within the United States. On one side, proponents argue for continued support as a moral and strategic imperative to defend democracy and deter Russian expansionism. On the other, skeptics influenced by America First nationalism question the value of such commitments, advocating for a more isolationist stance. President Joe Biden's administration has strongly supported Ukraine, framing it as critical to maintaining international order and defending democratic principles. Yet, the growing resistance within Congress, especially among pro-Trump Republicans, underscores a deepening divide that could alter the course of U.S. foreign policy and its leadership role on the global stage. This divide is not confined to the corridors of power. It echoes through the heartland of America, where citizens grapple with domestic issues, from economic challenges to social unrest. The question of foreign engagement, especially in distant conflicts, resonates differently across the American populace, influencing political discourse and policy decisions. The stakes extend far beyond Ukraine's battlefields. The U.S.'s stance on Russia and its commitment to NATO allies bear directly on the strategic balance in Europe and worldwide. A weakened resolve or a fractured alliance could embolden adversaries, reshape power dynamics, and undermine decades of diplomatic achievements. Veterans of diplomacy and conflict remind us of the hard-earned lessons of history: the cost of complacency, the value of alliances, and the perpetual struggle for freedom. Their voices lend perspective to the debate, highlighting what's at risk if the U.S. falters in its commitments or retreats from its leadership role. Moreover, the world faces evolving threats that demand collective action. From cyber warfare to climate crises and the rise of new powers like China, these challenges underscore the importance of a united front among democracies. The US-Russia dynamic is a critical piece of this complex puzzle, influencing global efforts to address these pressing issues. Yet, amidst these debates, the spirit of American innovation and resilience shines through. From groundbreaking technologies to grassroots movements for justice and equality, the US continues to demonstrate its capacity for leadership and change. These strengths are vital assets in navigating the geopolitical challenges of our time. The global call for democracy and human rights, echoed in forums from the United Nations to the streets of authoritarian regimes, underscores the universal aspiration for freedom. The US's position on Russia not only influences the immediate conflict in Ukraine, but also sends a powerful message to those fighting for democratic principles worldwide. It's a reminder of the enduring struggle between authoritarianism and liberty, a struggle that transcends borders and unites disparate peoples in a common cause. Within the US, a vibrant tapestry of voices, from educators to activists, calls for a renewed commitment to global engagement and the defense of democratic values. They argue that America's strength lies not only in its military might but in its ideals of freedom, justice, and human dignity. These principles have long guided US foreign policy and its alliances, including NATO. As we face an era marked by misinformation, cyber threats, and deepening political divides, the need for clear-eyed diplomacy and steadfast alliances becomes ever more critical. The US's internal divisions over Russia not only impact its ability to respond to these challenges, but also influence the global community's capacity to confront them collectively. Yet, there are glimmers of hope. Bipartisan efforts to address both national and international challenges reflect a potential path forward, one where common interests and shared values can bridge divides. Such collaboration is essential in crafting policies that bolster global stability and promote peace. Internationally, acts of solidarity, from humanitarian aid to peacekeeping missions, demonstrate the impact of collective action. These efforts, often supported by the US and its allies, highlight the potential for international cooperation to alleviate suffering and resolve conflicts. Looking ahead, the energy and optimism of the younger generation, combined with advances in technology and communication, offer hope for a more interconnected and cooperative world. These tools can empower individuals and nations alike to tackle global challenges, fostering a sense of shared destiny. As we navigate these turbulent times, the role of informed citizens, in the US and around the world, has never been more vital. Engaging with the issues, advocating for compassionate and pragmatic policies, and striving for a world marked by peace and justice are responsibilities we all share. The American Report is committed to bringing these critical discussions to the forefront, fostering a community of engaged and informed viewers. Thank you for joining us on the American Report. Don't forget to subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments below, and stay tuned for more in-depth analysis on the issues that matter most.